Hello, and welcome to the session where we'll be taking a quick look at the new version of the program Analyst. So you can see it's currently on version 3.9, and version 4 will be released with all the features that are in the current version 3. So at the moment, there's just a focused set of features that we'll be looking at, and so more of the features from version 3 will also be making their way in there. So for now, let's just look at what's currently available in 3.9. So first, when you open up the program Analyst, you can, of course, browse all the academic programs at the institution. So when you click Get List, then you'll be presented with a list of program codes here, and we can see the number of students there. So as usual, you can just click on any of these fields to sort it. So I like to start with just sorting in descending order the number of students in the program. And then when you click on an academic program, it loads up the number of students that have registered in that program over the previous years. So you get some sense for how the program is growing and so on. So we've preloaded an academic program. So to load the data for an academic program, you just click on Load Program and wait for it to load all the data. And then you can click here under Review Program Course Performance. So this tells us how the elements of that academic program are performing. So of course, there's the coursework, and we'll have a look at what that means there. It also tries to estimate your curriculum from that data. So it looks at the student registration information and it estimates the structure of that academic program. And this is a good impression of how students are actually working through the system. Of course, however, the way students are progressing through the system is not necessarily the way that we've designed that academic program. So if there's a significant difference, you can go ahead and edit the structure of that curriculum here. And then under student performance, here we see the student progression highlighted. We can understand which students are underperforming and so on. So let's work through it. So assuming that we have now loaded up our academic program of interest, let's look at the advice here. So first off, on the left, we can see that we are invited to select a course code. So if we click on a course code, it tells us what that course is, how many students wrote it in the year. I guess this is 24. And the number of times students are have to attempt the course before they pass it, its pass rate, mean, the year that most students are taking this course, so academic year of study, what's the year in their program that they're actually undertaking this course. So it also gives us a bit more information here. Well, that's about the program. So as you click on the course codes, it gives you that. And what's highlighted here are courses with low means. So we are trying to understand in this academic program, where are the gatekeepers? So it's saying these seem to be the courses with low means, and then courses with low pass rates. And of course, there would be a significant correlation between these two. But you see, it's not the same list. So your criteria for low means and low pass rates are set here. So you can see 80, so above 80 for a mean is considered high. Then 55 is considered the cutoff. And so if you adjust that 55, it will change this, the criterion for classifying a course as having a low mean. And similarly with the pass rates, you can set a pass rate of above 0.8, that's considered a good pass rate. Then below 0.6 is not a good pass rate, and so on. So we can adjust these values and it will change the advice here. Also course category limits, because we do try to classify core courses. So you can see down here in this list, some courses are considered core. So all students take those courses, then core elective. So there's a prescribed set of limited courses that the student can choose amongst. And there might be free electives as well. It looks like this program doesn't really have those, but sometimes you get free electives. So those are just across the whole institution. there are courses that students can take. So you'll sometimes see free electives depending on the program you're looking at. So we determine whether a course is core elective, or free based on the fraction of students taking them. So above 80%, so most students are taking a course, we consider it core. Between 80 and 0.3 core elective, and then the remaining is free elective. And again, you can adjust these values, and you can set clearer guidelines there. So for instance, if your institution or the program of interest only has core courses, then you would just change this to a 0, then everything is classified as core, for example. And then we are specifying the cohort year here. So of course, to figure out the curriculum, we need to review one set of students, and we need to track them across all their years of study. So if the year is currently 2024, then we need to look back 4 years, or in this case, 5 years, and then we track that group of students, and then from their data, we estimate this academic program. So it's giving us the program structure here. It's trying to classify where the core elective, and it's giving us the basic stats, mean and pass rate in these courses. And then it's highlighting for us which courses have performance issues. And here we are getting some recommendations about running this program a bit better. So it's picked up that possibly the semester credit loads are not well balanced. So it's saying in year 1, we've got 108. In year 2, it's 96. So that's not that much different. But here in year 4, we seem to have 12 credits for some reason. So it might be either that the system hasn't correctly estimated the academic program. So relying on the registration data may not have the right program. So that's why you've got such a shift in the credits. Or it might be that there's some kind of in-service training or some outside activity that students are undertaking. Or it could be the case that the program does have a severe imbalance in the number of credits, and you can look at shifting content around to better balance it. It's also saying that, well, there are some programs, or rather some coursework, where we have low pass rates and they are early in the program. So it's picked up that there are, I guess, four years in this academic program, and that there are some earlier courses with low pass rates. So we are considering those gatekeepers. So they are core courses, and they are early on. So those are certainly limiting the progression rates by students here. It's also looking at the students and their progression rates. So it's highlighting some students that need some advising or some form of support to improve the progression in this academic program. So you can update your criteria here. Just click Update Evaluation, and all this advice will change. Okay, so that's looking at more the coursework. And of course, as we said, we had estimated that program from the data, but you can go ahead and let's say there are some courses in here which don't belong. So it might be students who were registered for other programs and then entered this program. So from the data, you can't figure out whether these courses belong. Then you can go in here and edit these. So you can say, well, these ones are not actually in my program, so I'm just going to trash them. And then in this one, I'm wanting to add some courses which it seems to have missed. So you can go ahead and add courses here as well. Just click Create. So you can edit your list of courses here with this editor. And then you go back and redo the evaluation for your corrected program. You do want to think about whether you want to edit that list, because if there is a significant difference between what's published in the handbook and what the system is estimating here, that's an indication that students are not actually passing through that academic program the way it's designed. So that's another indication that there are some issues in that academic program that needed adjustment. Okay, so that's how you review the performance of a program. That's how you edit it. And then let's look at the student performance here as well. Now, you might be familiar with this view or some elements of this view from the Class View Connect service in Autoscholar. So, of course, this time we are talking about the program analyst. So in the program analyst, we look at different criteria. So let's just look at what we're looking at for students here. So you see, in contrast to the Class View Connect version of this, there we are looking at the assessment records and looking at in the current semester how the student is performing. In the case here of this program analyst, we are trying to understand how quickly students are progressing through this academic program. So if you look at the types of variables, the number of courses attempted, credits passed, the course pass rate, credit pass rate. So the progression rate is the credits passed divided by the number of academic years that student has been in the program. So, and here you can see the number of standard deviations from the mean as well. So you see, all these are more about the whole program. How fast is the student progressing through this academic program? So it's not trying to advise students in semester about their progress in a class. This is in the whole academic program. How are these students performing? So of course, this kind of view is more typical at the whole program level. It might be at the department level or even the faculty level. So, so these are the students who are performing well. Here are students who are falling behind in their progression, and then you can review all the students here as well. And in all cases, you can message all the students according to the available templates. So if you click down here, you'll see you can, as you have in the Class View Connect, you can edit your template for the students. So here's a template, and we'll look at just now the differences among some templates. But you can use these variables to customize the message. So by the end of the day, we want to send, we just want to click send to all students in one go. And if we include some of the variables which are specific to the students, then that message becomes customized. So even though we just click one button and it sends to all the students, we want each student to get a message that's customized to their situation. So you can use these variables here to edit this message and make it more contextual for the student. So if you click generate messages, then it gives you a preview for each student. So let's say, for example, that we had included here the last name of the student. So if we said last name, and if we regenerate the messages, then you can see the last name appearing here. You can use HTML formatting as well. So if you, for instance, set bold on this, for example, or if you set color highlighting and so on, then it will generate that way. Let's see, preview. Yeah, so that's there. And then if we regenerate that, you can see that bold appears there. So there's a lot you can do to customize your messages. And you can do that for each category. So high performing, low performing, and so on, you can customize their message template there. And then if you message all students, right, it shows you the custom message. So here's a better example. Let's pull up the template for this one. So for the high performing students, if we edit their message, you can see it's a little bit of a different template. So we just say hi first name, and then we do some line breaks here to format the text a bit better. And if you look at that, you can see here, this is a more suitable email. And so once we're happy with the result, you can just click send all messages. If you do that here, it's only going to send it to that category of students. If you do it here, if you, instead of going into the individual category, if you say message all users, then it will show you what messages it wants to send for each category. And then you can click send all. If you're not happy with any of these, then you just have to close that and go to the category that you want to adjust. and click edit message, and then you customize the message template there. And then you can go back here and message all users. Okay, so that's what we can do in the new version of the program analyst. Number one, we can just browse our academic programs and see how that program attendance has been changing over time. We can go ahead and look at the coursework and how it's performing in that across the years, and see whether the way that the students are progressing through that program matches with our expectations, matches with our design of that program. We can go ahead and edit the structure here, and then and in fact, you can also use this for scenario planning. You can use this and look at, if I were to move a course to another semester, how does that affect the progression rate, for example? And then you can review your students and you can message them from this part. Okay, so that's what's currently in the newer version of the program analyst. And there'll be further updates to this with the other population balance models and the different aspects there. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for listening.